So a lot of people ask me if I know the route for Mini Takes the States 2026 because of my connections and relationships with Mini USA. And the answer is the same for everybody. No, I don't know. And most people that work at Mini USA don't know. It's a pretty closely guarded secret up until the announcement. However, I do have some predictions or ideas that I think would be great that I want to share with you in this video. So let's go over where I think Mini Takes the States could go or should go for 2026. Now, one thing about the route is it never pleases everybody. There's always somebody or a small group that's upset about the route. For example, if you start on the East Coast, you're gonna upset the West Coast people. However, start over on the West Coast, the East Coasters aren't happy. If we start here in the center of America, we can upset the East Coasters and West Coasters combined. Let's jump into what I think those routes could be. My first prediction is gonna be Route 66. Now, hear me out on this. Route 66 turns 100 next year. So it's a 100-year anniversary of Route 66. The Mini is 66 years old. So there's Mini 66, Route 66. The Route 66 is 100 years. I think we could do Route 66 maybe next year. I don't know if we would start in the Chicago, Illinois area and head all the way to LA or go backwards in the other direction. But I think there's a decent likelihood, and I think it would be a fun trip to do Route 66 for Mini Takes the States 2026. Now, another option, and this is probably my favorite one, and I'm calling it Minis Along the Mississippi. And it's just like it sounds, we ride along the Mississippi River. Now, we can either start in New Orleans and end up somewhere in Minnesota, or start in Minnesota and end somewhere in New Orleans, but meander along the Mississippi River along the way. I think that'd be a really fun route. Another route that I think could be kind of cool, I'm not really sure I'd call this one a prediction, but I'm gonna call it the Loop. And just like this traffic circle, we're gonna start somewhere in the country and end at that same spot. So we're gonna go around in a big loop around the country and kind of end up where we started. It'd be kind of cool to see most of Middle America, but not sure that we'll actually do that, but that's my idea for the third Mini Takes the States 2026 route. So what about the predictions for actual dates themselves? Well, I think we're gonna find out pretty soon, probably within the next week to 3 weeks. Typically, we've been finding out in early January lately, but there's been times where we found out in December in the past. So as this video comes out, could be any minute now up until the next 3 weeks. I think it's a safe bet to find out when the actual event will take place and where we'll be going. Now, for the exact dates, it's pretty common that these happen in July, so I think that's a safe bet. And if you look at the past few events when they've actually happened, they've been after the 4th of July weekend, so the following weekend after that, and they generally last 8 to 12 days. So this year, based off of that, this is when I think they're gonna happen. Looking at this year's calendar for July 2026, it's probably going to be around the 11th that we would start. So people might have to drive on the 9th and 10th to get there. And it'll probably go till about the 20th. So if I had to guess, and if I was a betting person, I would say I'm going to bet July 11th through the 20th. And before we end this video, I've got a bonus route here. And this is probably my least favorite idea for a route, but I do want to mention it. Hopefully this doesn't happen, but I'm going to call this the split route. And here's what's happening. We're just gonna use my Minis Along the Mississippi route as an example. So we've got all of us starting in one spot. That's represented by the orange Mini and the green Mini here. And then from here, you have an option of going 2 different directions, right? So let's say the green Mini is gonna go off to Oklahoma City, while the orange Mini is gonna go over to Nashville, right? And they're gonna spend the night there, and they're gonna start their next day there. Then they're gonna drive to, let's call it St. Louis for the next day. And they're gonna both end in St. Louis, right? So we merge back up in St. Louis, but then we can go split again. Let's say these folks in the orange Mini are going to Des Moines and the green Mini is gonna go to Chicago, right? We've done a split again. And then we're gonna meet back here in, let's say, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kind of a little bit of a figure 8, but the idea is that you have options and you can split and choose your route and then meet back up. Now in the past where we've done like a Minis meet in the middle type of thing was not my favorite. I'm not sure who really liked that idea because you really got to pick which side you're going on, and sometimes that means not going with your friends if you maybe live on the opposite sides of the country. So this one, not my favorite idea, the split we're gonna call it, but it's an idea that could happen. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll know in just a few more days. So yeah, that's it. Those are my 3 predictions for where we could potentially go for Mini Takes the States 2026. But again, I do not know. anything. I don't have any hints on it. Those are just my guesses and some places I'd like to go. So let me know down in the comments below what you think the route's gonna be, or if you're going to be attending and if I'll see you there in 2026. Either way, wherever it's gonna be, I'll be attending, so hopefully I'll see you there. And if you're curious about what Mini Takes the States is in general, I'll leave a little link to my playlist of what the past events have been. But for now, it's gonna be the end of this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. When you see other minis out there, don't forget to wave. I'll catch you in the next one.